Hello everyone and welcome once again to another commentary video. This time we are gonna cover this match that happened in Global League Fog against Dijus and with our long partner Lightning Strike. Well, partner, guys, I have covered many matches of him and it's on a interesting map. I'm not a big fan because it's a base light fog map, and base light fog maps are quite infamous in the sense that they can get a bit annoying, let's say. But this is an interesting map because of a gimmick it offers. As you can see on the corners, you can build units. Most of players will build how you call it, recon. But if, for example, if you are Sonia and you want to be very naughty, you can build an artillery, and on your powers day you can lock this base. Or if you are even more nautier, you can build a missile, and also on top of getting the vision you can lock this airport. And remember, vision of missiles are 5. But first thing first, let me present our how do you call when you invite someone? Well, the commentator of today, Yellow Fistel. Well, I don't know how would you like to be called, Yellow, but I'm gonna call you Yellow if it's fine for you. Welcome.
Hiya, that's perfect. People call me shorten my nickname in various ways. So yellow is fine.
Yellow is fine. So you just asked me. Well, you just told me that you play on this map just today. Finish a match. This is a intelligence system. I will put the link to the map on the description as always. This is a global league map that, if I remember correctly, it has not been in league since almost a year ago. I have played it when it was back in the day, when I played much more League than I do now, and it was. I remember one of them because it was quite an infamous match in the sense that I was playing, I guess, against Star Drifter, who was known for being kind of rude on the messages, although I have not heard anything of him recently. But it was Andy, me as orange player against Kindle, and I got stomped in the early game by Kindle. But then my opponent completely overextended into this area, and I somehow managed to win over the game. Because on a base light map, if you manage to get some kills, they are much more impactful than in a 3 or 4 bases map. Also, in base light maps with this airport, not in every single base light map, but copters are much more powerful than they could be normally. Because first of all, getting the tank infantry copter is easier to get. Well, it's easier. Yeah, it's easier to get 1k, and but not only that, but the airport can, it's half of your production factory. So copters are gonna be more numerous against anti-air. But I wanna hear what are the thoughts after her match in this map by Yellow. Let me know. Enlighten me. What do you think about this map?
I agree with you that copters are really powerful, but you must also understand that this is a really open map. It has, I think it has nearly no mountains and barely any water. So even copters are mostly to fill an account. They are not particularly powerful. I lost by a lot um, because it was my first time playing the map. And one thing I didn't notice, which should have been very obvious in this map, is that the towers are super contested, both com towers.
Yep, The towers are ultra, mega, hyper, omega alpha contested. Like the thing is baseline map with such contested towers. The problem with such contested towers in a baseline map is that your unit count for infantry is gonna be lower than normal, but on top of that, a lot of infantry are gonna get shoot at because of the contested nature of the com towers. So if you lose one or two infantries because of recon or whatever on this area, that's a big loss, because getting infantry into this area without a transport is gonna take you, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns to get from the nearest base to the com tower. So that's a lot of time. But I was talking with Lightning Strike about this map, and on his opinion, this is a map where copters are quite strong. I kind of agree with him that they probably are strong here, but you point out that it's quite an open map. But don't get too tricked, because there is a lot of how you call it, details. Like, look, there is two space here with a forest. So if you are, for example, here with your anti-air, and there is a copter here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it barely reaches. So if it's not, yes, but no, I think
It's not that bad, you mean?
we will see, but because I'm sure that we will see a lot of copters, and Other is one of the best copter users in tier 4, so we will see about it. So let's use a straight jump to the well, I didn't talk about the COs. Let me do a couple of notes. But Other is the type of CO that loves copter combat, and maybe that's why the reason they picked him here. Normally Other is not as strong in fog, as I mentioned in many videos, is because making use of that extra movement effectively and in a relevant way is much more harder when you lack the intel. And also Other loves to have unit variety, because he is not dependent on one unit, one type of unit, as is Jake. Jake, yes, he has the planes bonuses, but he prefers to have more tanks, if it's for the reason that the 2 extra movement in the superpower. Same way, yes, prefers tanks, or well, Grim, I would say, prefers copters because of the nature of the defense. But what I'm saying is a baseline map is not, in theory, maybe on this map, but in theory it doesn't favor Other. But I'm assuming that the reason why they pick Other is because of the copters being strong. We'll see about that. But let's use a straight jump to the match. I'm quite excited for this map, because it has been a long time since I have covered another mirror, and other mirrors, I don't know about you, Yellow, but I think they are very interesting.
Usually, mirrors have very interesting mechanics, and they differ a lot from many other matchups in the way that they interact. And for example, a hawk mirror usually favors the player that either uses the power last or causes the most damage on the first strike.
Well, normally you don't want to use it unless you secure a lot of hit KOs or a very deadly wall break. But on Other, I think it's one of the purest matchups you can have on Advanced Wars via web, in the sense that you don't play for the powers, yes, but you play more like a pure Advanced Wars experience. I don't know if you get what I
You're
mean.
probably meaning Other versus Jake, which is a pretty classic matchup.
Yeah, but you know, it's like the more light experience in the sense that powers are not that.
Not
Yeah,
the core of the gameplay or decisions.
yeah, it's like more poor advanced wars action without powers being that relevant. I mean, other is all about him having a CO power that costs 2 stars, but it only gives one move, and even though it's very useful, um,
It isn't game breaking or game changing. It doesn't change the core of the game. I
it
get
doesn't
you.
change that much, so it feels like you are playing the game. Um, I think people will get what I mean. Both players open Recon Day 3, and here we see Lightning Strike boosting this infantry into this area to get into this city. I imagine he's gonna cap this and then go for the forest and then the com tower. I think players normally want to send the recon like both players are doing right here, because sending the recon all the other way around, it's gonna affect your capture game, and sending the recon north from this base is not it's not efficient, let's say. I wanna see a sneaky missile or something here. We see first tank day 5, and Dijus opted to go for a double recon since it doesn't delay the tank. Well, it will delay the tank for 1 day, but it's not like it's gonna delay the tank even further. I don't know, what are your thoughts? How was your opening on this map compared to them?
I had a lack of focus and focus much more on the center than on the sides, which, if you see how the properties are aligned, is a really bad idea because properties are more concentrated on the sides of the map.
Yeah, the middle is empty on this map.
Yeah, it can allow for some front shapes, but ultimately the valuable properties aren't there.
Yeah, and it's you don't want to. This property is far from contested, and this is maybe it's not even contested in my opinion. It's 1.5 turn away from the base, and if you count the tiles, it's too far to try to fight over it, because most of the time whenever you get there with your first recon, a tank will be already out of the base, which is sad that Lightning Strike got the spot by this recon. I think he could have tried to count the tiles, but at the end of the day, if you ever think about the vision range, it's not a good idea. The recon remains hidden, so Lightning Strike doesn't know about it, and he won't definitely, because this infantry will start capping here and this will go there, and if he notices with the tank, he still won't be able to hit it. But
Actually, I must admit that is a pretty ballsy move from Digius, seeing that he's focusing on the bottom side, but he snuck a recon in there just so he can know. And there you go, he trapped the tank.
I mean,
Lightning Strike didn't know about it.
was it a trap?
Yeah.
No. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Okay. I very used to the replayer not showing traps, like it gets it doesn't show the move, and if it shows the move, it's because it didn't got trapped. So yeah, it got trapped, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. But
And there you go with the first aggression.
yeah, I really like this move by Dijus. As you can see, he rebels the recon while attacking an infantry, and then uses that to attack the recon. So
And he knows there will be few or no retaliation because he already knows his opponent is focusing on the other side.
I mean, not focusing, but at least his first tank is going there. So if there is another tank, it will take at least one more turn to arrive into these 2 units range. So it's a safe attack to do. Also, Lightning Strike mentioned me that he is very bad apparently on playing other. So he really wanted me to cover this match because of it. And oh, this is very sad. This tank
Because the tank doesn't cover the capping infantry.
and Digius is gonna know that, because if this tank was how you call it, a day 2 tank instead of day 1, it could be I mean, it could be perfectly here, but this is gonna get intel with this recon next turn, and see this is gonna be a free infantry hit. But at this point, Lightning Strike has to bluff it, because if it retreats, it's gonna tell intel to Decius without even having to scout, you know? If
I
you
completely agree, and the use is basically winning the Intel game.
yeah, he is just using his recons on just the they are on range of the tanks, but he's just in time to take them away from danger. Well, not anymore. This tank is I mean, if you get a 2-hit KO, it's 1 unit for 1 unit. But what I mean is, like, look, okay, so he didn't try to tell this, so he's gonna eat a first strike. I mean, it's not the end of the world because he's on a silo, and he's not only denying the join cap, but also any unit from sitting on this city. And he's bringing more tanks, so even though he will get first strike,
it's just on the edge of the 2-day zone, because so I don't think the use is overextended that much.
That's a bit overextended. Like if you count the tiles, is 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's
1,
3
2,
days.
3, 4. It's 3 days, and here is only 2 days. But he is holding the high ground, and he's not planning to how you call it, hold this fight for much longer. But the damage he has dealt is enormous, because he has not only weakened the infantry, but completely eradicate any hope for now for Lightning Strike to deny this capture. If Dicius really wants, he can skip this capture and go for the tower next turn, and he will get this capture eventually, because it's completely safe.
I also would like to add that the copter game has started at date 9, 8 in the case of Digius, and Lightning Strike has still not built any copters, which is interesting.
Yeah, and he's neither wielding any anti-air, so unless he wills something next turn, he's gonna have a window of free range for Digius
Which
to
we
attack.
know that Digius has already built a copter, of course. But that would be expectable anyways, being date 9 then.
And do you think it's a good idea to capture this com tower knowing that you are facing a tank and a recon in range of interrupting this? Because if I were Lightning Strike, I'm not let's see.
I've actually tried to sneak com towers, and my opponent had to keep units in there specifically to counter that, because I actually find it easy to sneak around, even using the forest even.
I think knowing that there is these 2 vehicles, I mean, it was a gamble at the end of the day, but it was a gamble relying on Lightning Strike doing a mistake, in my opinion. And I have to say, like there is no uses for a slide leap for Lightning Strike right now. Like there is no one extra movement that is gonna mean a difference for him. Like this 1 HP tank doesn't matter. This tank can hit anyways. Cannot hit the 6 HP tank. This can hit anyways, and this is not gonna do anything with one extra movement. I mean, it's gonna help
And
with
I don't think he needs the 10-10 stats so much. Yeah,
no.
I agree.
That's most of the time is important if you are sitting on a city or if you want to
To prevent
secure
wall breaking.
2-hit KOs, or yeah, if that extra attack doesn't mean any wall breaking or preventing wall breaks or 2-hit KOs, is not that important.
Absolutely.
Mm,
I find it interesting that Lightning Strike chose to attack the Recon instead of tank on the bottom there. What do you think about it?
um, he's denying the high ground. So now if he kills one unit, which is recons on base light are very valuable because you don't want to waste your time wielding recons, and he's denying the high ground. Like I mean, there is no tanks coming, so maybe it could have been alright, but right here he's gonna get attack from planes or souls. So yeah, probably he's thinking of denying the the defense from the silo to disuse on top of killing one unit. And
And there we go.
whoops,
First power.
I moved the microphone. I think there is some arguments for the slide leap for disuse. I'm gonna I wanna guess which one. Okay, this tank to hit KO in this tank with the help of the copter. And maybe some infantry hits, but that's about it. This tank hitting this tank here.
Yeah, that's about the only thing I see being the power being used. Yeah.
Or never mind.
In the end,
Yeah,
it
because
was not used. Yeah.
Doom Doom. Because
They just probably didn't know about the existence of the recon.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about killing the recon. I saw.
But anyways, I see a better move here. Unless they just have a better plan, the bottom tank could have been used.
The bottom tank
secure.
is just to move. Let's see what he does. Yeah, he attacks this one. You better damage units instead of killing one, because this is two weakened tanks that can do much instead of one full tank that can do a lot.
This is more of a short-term strategy because the 9-unit count is.
It's more. You always want to do as much damage as possible. This you don't want to do this only if you are facing Andy, but if you are facing a normal CO, you want to do this. You want to do this.
I see.
Because you have to do as much damage as possible. Now Lightning Strike has only 2 tanks in response. He would have 3 tanks, because a 5 HP tank doesn't want to attack into a full HP tank unless it's helping to finish off that unit with the help of another full HP tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a 5 HP tank is actually less valuable than 50% of a tank because it's gonna cost less damage. It's gonna get counterattack in return. So ultimately, it has less value.
Look at this forest. You plump a unit here and that's it. What are you gonna do about it? I mean, I could have even gotten the recon here and the tank here, to be honest. But Lightning Strike didn't know about being nothing here, so he went for the safe play. But you can do anything.
You can try getting into, and if it's a trap, let it be.
And look at the amount of vision you have in a baseline map. You cannot afford building recons, even if you lost them, because it's so valuable to build other stuff.
Another interesting thing is how Lightning Strat was rushed to build a copter and an anti-air because that copter got a free hit.
Yeah, it got a free hit. It wasn't the end of the world. It was good, but it's so funny. This is the part that I dislike the most of this map. This river holding the limit with the forest.
But there you go, a tank and a recon essentially doing nothing.
I mean, they are denying a com tower.
But they just wasn't interested about the con tower.
He's gonna kill one unit. And the recon, yes, the recon can go somewhere else. The recon had to be there to get vision. Okay. And you cannot leave this area.
Oh wow, what a counter. Did you see that?
Yep. That's why it's very rough to have weakened tanks.
But he did do this to get charge for the power.
Yeah, he had to. Like, he has no more engagements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But he prefers, if he goes for this one, he's gonna be able to kill this one. And if he goes for this one, he's gonna be able to kill it. But it's not gonna be as good because it will mean that the tank change that is very likely happening is gonna be in range of the full HP tank. So instead you go for this one.
A12 and no towers have been captured.
Yep, the story of this map. Let's see, because there is another slide leap by Dijus. I don't know if he's gonna use it right away. Oh, look at this lucky roll. He's not gonna use it. If you are not using if you are gonna use the other power on the middle of the turn, try to do your reinforcement movements last, so they get the extra one movement, which is very useful. If he is moving his units, he's not gonna use it for sure. Wow. And next turn, Lightning Strike is not gonna have the power, which means this is not gonna be a 2-hit KO for sure. It might be if he had the CO power. And yeah, this anti-air is just prepared to counter any copter aggression, but I think
it doesn't cover the rightmost tank.
It does because of the CO power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's good.
So what if Lightning Strike had the slide leap, he could 2-hit KO this tank, put the recon here, and attack with a copter from here. So now this copter would have been safe. But without a slide leap, that means he cannot interrupt this while doing this. So he has to choose between killing the tank and keeping safe the copter, or interrupting. And that's going to be a dilemma. I wonder what he's going to do. this is dangerous because this is in the 2 range of the base and the copter with a CO power. This is very dangerous spot. You don't want to be here against other. But he interrupts the com tower. No one is getting the com tower. Okay, so oh my god, I just remember what I said about interrupting. You can't just interrupt with the recon. I forgot about that. So yeah, it's completely fine. I think my how you call it, my brain is fried up after playing so much chess today. I have played blitz chess today, spamming games, and I'm freed up. But right now, for sure, it's gonna be an instant slide lead by Dijus. He has this 2-hit KO here and then a hit on the anti-air, and this 1 HP unit is gonna save the day, making able for this anti-air getting hit, because if that wasn't the case, he would have need to use this infantry to repel the anti-air. So that's gonna be very useful.
Getting the charge first.
Very important, always get the charge first. If there is an engagement that is not gonna change because of the power, and you still have charge to gain, first do the engagement, then do the power. That's very important to do.
I must say, Dijus is being quite aggressive, and that infantry in the center is quite manx, if I must say.
But he is capping this also, so he has to. I mean, he's playing for the distraction game, if you know what I mean. And 1, 2, 3, 4,
Forcing
5,
your
6.
opponent to choose what to do. You can't interrupt them all.
I mean, if you attack the vehicles with your vehicles and you capture properties with your infantry, and the enemy lacks the infantry, you are gonna win somewhere. And right now he has the infantry superiority, so he can put this infantry into the com tower next turn, and this tank is gonna get hit, and this capture needs to be interrupted next turn, this needs to be interrupted, this needs to be interrupted, and there is only 2 more vehicles coming, and there is gonna be 1 vehicle hit. So okay, he joins cap.
Through the forest.
He joins cap, so now you cannot interrupt this unless you 2-hit KO it, and if you 2-hit KO this, you need to interrupt this with this, and if you interrupt this with this, you need to interrupt this with the coming tank if there is one here, or the copter. So he's doing damage while distracting the army. And look at the wheel, double tank copter, how could he afford that? It's because he safe at last turn, I think so, right?
That's 23,000. So he must have.
Yeah, he saved because he will 1 infantry, 1 tank, and 1 copter last turn.
Another interesting thing that I want to add, being day 14, is that Dijus did not build a recon on that spare base on the corner, while Lightning Strike did. I'm wondering if Dijus did not because he got enough intel on the early game.
Let's check when was it will. It was will on day 11, and let's check. Yeah, Lightning Strike had not that much of a money. He could have gone for the double tank if he wanted to, but I don't think you need more tanks in this area. Like with the you have already many tanks, and you could repair some of them. You have the anti-air. I think it was fair to say day 14, right? Okay. Yeah, okay. So now let's see how Lightning Strike interrupts. He gets the charge first. Even 50 Grand, it's important, guys. I mean, I don't think so, but So he doesn't go for this interrupt because it's a neutral city at the end of the day. But these two are very important to interrupt, because that 2k, not only one, because it's, you know, a flip. He was the anti-air, so unless you have some anti-air here, a bomber and a medium tank, you need to hit KO this. And in order to hit KO this, you need to use the slide leap or two tanks, and 2 tanks for 1 infantry, that's a big waste. But something tells me that he's not gonna be that waste, because he has 1 tank in range that has nothing else to do with the slide leap, and he has the slide leap ready. He has this 1 HP infantry ready to get vision. This infantry can get vision too. So let's see. Okay, gets vision, but being very careful to not end up adjacent to the units. That's the problem with having 2 vision. Then sometimes it's not enough to hit KO the infantry, kill the anti-air, and then hit the copter. So now if there is the tank coming here, it's gonna be it's not gonna be able to hold the high ground, you know. Like if it wants to attack the tanks, yeah, it can attack this tank from here, but if attacks from here is super exposed compared to here, which is just 2 turns away. I think this is 3 turns in normal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, right. If it had 2 slide leaps, it would be 2 turns, but it's 3 turns compared to these 2 turns. And never underestimate cripple anti-air. As other, it has not that much of firepower, but if your anti-air is like 5-6 HP and you are a max or a J complaints or something like that, your anti-air is still gonna almost one shot or do as much damage as a full HP copter against copters. So don't.
And after all, placing it on a silo where it was, it doesn't get that much damage from tanks as you will think, allowing it to get another shot. This particular anti-air was attacked by 2 units, and it still was able to cripple a copter.
Yeah, because they were weakened tanks. Yep. And also one other thing is that I think the base damage of tanks against anti-air is 65. So I'm gonna check it and put it on the comments. But I think it's 65, and 65 at the end of the day, if you have some defense, it's gonna get damage on, but it's never gonna be a one shot. Unless you have Kindle superpower with 30, well, not that many, but 20 cities or something crazy. And if you look at the unit count,
it doesn't look that bad. Even income doesn't look that bad, but the positioning is making all the difference.
And I mean, you have to keep in mind that this is the end of lightning strike turns. And I was gonna say this just has not a recon, but I just noticed he has now 1 recon. So it's very even on the unit count. But look at the state of lightning strike units, like 3 HP tank, 4 HP tank, 5 HP copter, 2 HP infantry, 5 HP tank. All units from Nujabes are completely healthy and in a position of converting that, because he's about to get the com tower in the next turn. There is no way lightning strike is able to stop it. He's nowhere near to get the other com tower. I would dare to say that he might lose it. So it looks very rough.
In the end, lightning strike is losing on on both fronts.
And if you think about it, what's the worst thing that can happen to this tank? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you don't want to waste a tank movement to interrupt, and it's just gonna be one tank that is gonna get picked up by this, and the infantry is not gonna be able to interrupt. So you ensure if something interrupts this, is gonna be a how you call it, a tank, because this infantry won't be able to interrupt this, because in order for this to go here, this needs to die, and this needs to die. It needs to get 2 hit KO, and I don't think you can reach here from behind the forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You will need a side slip.
So you would need to attack from here, and then interrupt with this, but then this space gets occupied by the tank that attacked the tank. So this is completely tactics on exhibition.
It's a really sound tactic, yeah.
I mean, probably you don't have to overthink about it so much, but staying next to a damage unit, or a unit that doesn't want to attack you, for example, staying next to an anti-air with a medium tank, while that medium tank is covering the copter, and the only way you have to kill the medium tank is by moving the anti-air, but the anti-air doesn't want to move because it wants to go through the medium tank after it's destroyed to kill the copter. It's a very good way to ensure that your wall will hold, because you don't it's irrelevant to break it. I don't know if I explained what I wanted to explain.
I completely get you.
Okay, so my viewers, Rush include, they will understand us. So right now, Lightning Strike needs to repair his units. Come on, put this copter little boy here and repair it. I mean,
a lot of people forget the usage of black boats. I've used them even to restore fuel and ammo to copters.
I was thinking, what if you attack with the anti-air here? This is probably more likely to kill that 5 HP tank, and then you put the infantry here. But then you can attack the anti-air from here with tanks coming. Yeah, it's too ballsy.
Tank versus anti-air versus tank is 35 or something?
25, if I remember correctly. 25 plus firepower, which Lightning Strike has none, so no, it's not.
It's impossible to kill it.
Because of then, how you call it, lag damage is gonna go up to 35. It was unfavorable roll. If this was a low HP 4 HP,
it would have been possible, but
it was possible. But the anti-air should have rolled for max lag, and this should have been on the very low 30s, like 34. Probably the max damage you can do with lag. But right now there is a lot of forces here, and the problem that Dicius has, he lacks the intel, but he doesn't need to have a recon to know that he needs to get the fuck away here from here, because he's seen that Lightning Strike is building stuff and it's bringing it here. So at least there is some units going here.
And the fact that Lightning Strike is taking engagements on this front implies that the 2 tanks Dicius can see are probably covered.
Yeah, but then we will have to talk about bluffing, because I mean, a bluff maybe is not gonna work against Go 7, but a bluff is a very good technique that I actually use a lot. And some people, oh no, I'm not gonna attack you here because you of course have tanks. I have none. It's like you have to to take bluffs into considerations. But I think Jesus got what he wanted here. He just needs to retreat and enjoy the income advantage. The com tower now is going to be huge because he's going to get the 2-hit KOs whenever he uses the CO power, and he's gonna be able to just retreat from this area and start contesting.
In a sense, front shifting.
Yeah, you secure the area, and then you front switch here to deny the com tower. And if you keep fighting with a com tower advantage and an income advantage, you will do more damage, and your opponent won't have as much funds as you to replenish her units. So that's it, because if you look at the income, Lightning Strike is just at 17, and you know what it means in a base light map to have 17 income, right? It's tank, infantry, copter.
And infantry copter, yeah.
But if you get Reapers, you won't be able to do that. So Lightning Strike cannot get the will that you really want to get, but Decius can get that will and save some money for bigger tech up units, or just keep spamming if he is repairing. So it's a very good situation for Decius. Let's see what he does if he chooses to stay and fight.
He is choosing to stay.
He is choosing to. At the end of the day, if you stay here, this needs to get 2-hit KO, which is not hard because it's on soul. But I mean, I don't agree with this move. But
I think it's very risky, yeah. And this is basically a serious overextension.
Not super serious, but quite serious. I would see serious black, let's say. Black levels. Okay, after that amazing joke, let's see. Because Lightning Strike can try to punish this. This is how my opponent Kindle lost on our match as Andy. Because I had a big tank here. I don't know if it was I think it was a Neo tank. And I was able to get a big one-shot on one of his big tanks around this area. But yeah, my opponent overextended into this area, not as much as Decius, and he completely lost, my opponent. But
this reminds me of, oh wow, even he decided to resign even though that counter-attack was pretty strong.
I mean, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna interrupt the com tower? You have to sack one vehicle, and then that probably means that your opponent is gonna just keep capping, and in the worst case scenario join cap and get the com tower. And fighting with one com tower against none, it's already thought, but it's possible. But fighting against 2 com towers with none, it's like.
And there's another factor. Yeah, Lightning Strike won that fight, but he lacks the infantry to capitalize on it.
Yeah, he has no infantry. Like, he has 3 infantries at 3 HP. So that those infantries are gonna do nothing. On a base light map, if you target infantry whenever you already won a front, you can just move away, and you know your opponent is not wielding infantry, so you just I mean, it was a very it was an overextension. I could have not done this, but if you are getting this and you are front switching, it was at that point not quite, but when you almost can use Yeet brainlessly and still win when you have that advantage. I think it was not quite at that point, but Decius was far on the lead whenever this happened. But I could be curious of the reasoning behind the resign by Lightning Strike. I will ask him if he wants to tell us, and maybe he can comment it on the comments, and I will just satisfy your curiosity as well as mine. Thank you for coming, Yellow.
It's
It's,
my pleasure.
it has been a quite interesting match, and I don't know how much we have recorded. I don't think it has been very long, 40 minutes, 41,
Around 50 minutes.
plus the interactions, so it's not gonna be, it's gonna be on the medium spectrum of duration. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any how you map suggestions to cover and comment, or any ideas for videos, feel free to share them. And cheers, guys. Bye bye.